Hey everyone. I can't believe it's another Friday and I am doing another Facebook Live. So I hope you are able to hear me, not like the first time. And I am not sharing any boards or anything because my second Facebook Live went a bit funny because you couldn't see it properly. But it happens. And I am not perfect, and what I am doing may not be perfect, and it links really nicely to what I'm talking about today. So Facebook number 3 is all about language anxiety. Do you ever feel worried or anxious or stressed, or you feel you have a mental block, or you are sweating or shaking when you need to speak a second language? If you are watching this now with me live, you can type a yes, you can let me know how you feel. Or if you are watching a recording, you can always let me know. I would like to know how you feel about what I am doing and how you feel about what I'm talking about. So we do feel anxious and nervous and worried when we speak in our native language, and let alone when you speak in your second language. And why maybe is it even worse? Because when you speak in your second language, you may feel limited, or you may feel incompetent. So you don't have enough language to be able to express yourself. And then you may feel like an idiot. You know, like you cannot say what you want to say, so you don't say it. And these are all signs of anxiety, language anxiety. When you do not want to speak the language, or you feel all these negative feelings when you need to speak the language. So there are 2 things you can do. So I don't know, I would really like to know how you feel about this. And sometimes it depends on the situations. And I know also because English is my second language, and I was fluent in Russian and German, and now I'm trying to speak Russian again. So I know how I feel. And sometimes it also depends on the situation. So for example, you may be okay to speak when you are with someone, like in a pair, but you feel more anxious when you speak in front of the class, or when you need to give a presentation, or when you are in a new situation with new people, with native speakers. So again, it depends on the situation as well. And as I said, there are 2 things you can do. One is you avoid speaking your second language. And I'll tell you a story. To illustrate this, it's a story about a man, let's say a man, English man, who lived in Spain. And he could speak some Spanish, and he used to go to a shop, small shop. And the shop owner, he told the shop owner that, yeah, he speaks some language, some Spanish. And when the shop owner knew that he could speak Spanish, he wanted to speak Spanish with him. But this man didn't feel confident. And what did he do? He stopped coming to that shop. He avoided. Because he went to a supermarket, he went to a bigger shop. So we always have a choice. So choice number one, you avoid speaking that language because you feel anxious, worried, stressed, you are afraid to make mistakes, you don't want to feel like, you will be criticized, or you don't want to feel embarrassed because it's not perfect. So you avoid it. But I would like to know what you think about it. Is it the right thing to do? If you avoid speaking the language, if you avoid using the language, is it the right thing to do? Will you ever grow? Will it ever change? I think the answer is clear. It won't. So number two, you are willing to communicate. And it's called WTS, willingness to communicate. You are willing to use your second language no matter what. You have a go. You try. You do your best. So A, you avoid using that language. And B, you are willing to communicate. And there are two things attached. Number one, it depends on your confidence and energy. Now think about this. This is interesting. Sometimes you may feel like, I want to speak the language, I am not worried about what other people will think. You feel less stressed, and it's all because you feel more energetic. You feel relaxed. Think about your situations. Maybe you were in situations where you really felt like this. It was nothing to do with your level, with your skills. It was only how you felt, if you had the energy. So this is number one, your confidence and your energy, and how relaxed you are. And number two, how competent you feel. And it all comes down to all the skills and how good you feel about that. And then you are willing to communicate. So this is maybe something for you to think about your journey, about your language learning journey, how you feel and when you feel anxious. Think about the different situations I have just discussed. So you can examine and see where you are. And of course, I am more than happy to give you some tips to win, to deal with this language anxiety. Because we all, as I said, we all feel anxious. And so I'll give you now some tips how to deal with language anxiety. And you can always let me know what you feel and which one maybe you feel is the best for you. So number one, when you feel anxious or stressed or worried, or you feel you are going to faint, or I don't know, all these kind of feelings, start speaking slowly and breathe. This kind of advice, everybody tells you, just breathe and speak slowly. It is the same in your native language. It is the same in a second language. So speak slowly. And that gives you time to think about the grammar, about the words you need to say. And that definitely applies to me as well, because I tend to speak fast. And when I am a bit stressed or anxious, then definitely I do speak faster. So the same applies to me. So tip number one, breathe and speak, don't speak too fast. Tip number two, set goals. And I am talking about small goals, realistic goals. And why? Because if you don't have goals, you know, there is no motivation. I did my first Facebook Live about motivation and how important it is to be motivated. If you don't have a big why you are learning the language, then there's no motivation. So set small goals, realistic goals, and try to achieve them. Why? Because when you achieve your goals, you feel you are progressing, and it's all about progress. Happiness equals progress. We all want to feel that we are progressing, even if it's small steps. You may feel, okay, today I will say hello to one stranger. Maybe when you go shopping, I will say hello to one stranger and I will ask them how they are. Or maybe you will say, okay, so in class, I will share more today. Anything, you can always do a bit more. Always do a bit more. Always push yourself a little bit. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Okay, so tip number 2, set goals, small goals, realistic goals. Tip number 3, face your fear and do it anyway. You can be scared, shaking, worried, sweating, and you decide to do it anyway. And I'll give you my own example. When I started doing my YouTube videos, I was so anxious. You have no idea. If you watch my first YouTube videos, you will see I can't even look at them. But I did it anyway. And this is what we all have to do. You are so scared, so afraid, but you do it anyway. Just do it. Don't think about it too much. Just do it. Say it. Number 4, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's English is perfect. Learn from the mistakes. Smile. Laugh at them. Your attitude. It's all about your attitude. How you deal with the mistakes. Do you feel after you've made a mistake, do you feel crap? Or do you feel it's okay? I can learn from them and improve. And last one, language is for communication. Language is for communication. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never making a mistake. It's not about showing that you are maybe a bit stressed or worried or anxious, or you have to do the same, to say the same thing again. It's not about that. You can communicate. That's the main thing. This is what you need to remember. Language is for communication. And it's never perfect. So I think that was all about language anxiety. Well, actually, I have got one more tip. But I am not going to share it with you during this Facebook Live. You can always let me know what you think about these tips, but I got one. And I will share this tip during my webinar. I am doing a webinar next Saturday at 6 p.m. So Saturday, the 17th of June. You will need to register. So if you are interested, you will need to email me. I will send you a link. I will be joined by 3 very interesting speakers. One of them is an executive coach. He is going to talk about confidence and identity and how to be liked when you are in a different country and how to like people in another country. We will talk about persistence, about setting goals, about confidence. So it is a really interesting webinar. So if you would like to join us, please let me know. It is true. It's a good sign of the readiness of our mind to make a shift from fear to progress. Wow, that is interesting. It is a good sign. It should move us. It should, yes, help us to change and, yeah, shift from fear to progress. Yeah, I like that. Let me know what you think about this. If you ever feel worried, anxious, stressed, you feel you have a mental block, try to use those tips. Let me know if it works. Or if you have a tip I haven't mentioned, tell me. Tell me what works for you when you speak a second language and you feel these negative feelings. And I like quotes, and I do have a quote for you at the end. If you hear someone speak in a foreign accent, they are smart enough because they speak more than one language. And if you hear them speak that language, they are also brave enough because they decide to communicate in their second language. So I hope you have found this video useful, and it may hopefully help you with anxiety. And just use your second language because it's a sign you are smart and brave. Thank you for watching. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.